So I don't know if I've previously started one of these videos or not, but I'm going to do an updated video of things that I've done so far. This is a 2006 Chevrolet 2500 HD. Got the 6.0. Replaced the hydroboost assembly. There's two lines connected to it. There's one over here and one laying off back in a hole back there. So these lines are 16 millimeter, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, that's correct. I really hope you all can hear me. I'm using a new microphone, so I'm testing it out as I'm doing this video as well. Anyways, there's two lines. One connects here to the side. It's the L-shaped line. The other one is kind of a Z-shaped line. And you can kind of see it tucked away back there. It's more of a U shape at the very end. And then you have the return line that's sticking back here with this line. I'm not replacing that return line. I'm replacing the two high pressure lines that go up to the hydro boost assembly itself. And then I'm replacing the steering box that's down here. Let's see, I'm a little vertically challenged, so there's a bolt about there that is an 11 millimeter. It's pretty tight, but it can come out if you have a long enough extension and enough butt to put behind it. I used a 24-inch extension with a short 11 millimeter socket and a 3/8 drive Milwaukee impact. Then it has a return line here, or a low pressure line. That fitting is probably going to have to come off, as I don't think the new one comes with one. If it does, I'll be putting a new fitting on there. The high pressure line that's here goes to the driver's side of the hydro boost assembly. I'm leaving it on. I've removed the pitman arm from the drag link. I've disconnected that bolt there to the intermediate shaft. I haven't taken it all the way off yet because I've not gotten that far. The bolt underneath is the same size, or the nut underneath is the same size as these bolts here, which is a 21 millimeter. There's 3 bolts, 2 on the front, or the front side, and then 1 on the back side. It's not all the way out. That's just hanging there. You can see I've got new lines. I have to mold those back around and put them into their housing, which is here. These brake lines are completely rusted, so it's to be expected to have to form some things. This kit's supposed to be for the 2000 to 2007 or 8 or something Chevrolet, any of the size boxes. But anyway, let me get back down here. The intermediate shaft, you can see it from here, but you can't access it from here. So you'll have to take a pry bar to the top side and slide that intermediate shaft up. You may have to remove the bolt that is inside of here. You have full access to it from this side. It is a 13 millimeter. At least that's what it looks like. And then that intermediate shaft will be able to move all over the place. The reason why I took it off from the drag link instead of the pitman arm is because there's no room to actually get into the bottom side of the steering box. Here is the bottom side of the steering box, and there is the nut in question. And the other nut is right there. That's a 21 millimeter, so when you're taking off those 2 nuts out there, if you're taking this off, or 3 bolts out there off, you can go ahead and take this off just by taking that nut loose and using the separator. You see this one is now used. It was brand new. I'm about ready to drop this thing out of there. I have that 1 bolt left there, and I think that intermediate shaft to stay put. Let me get under here. Of course, it's covered in rust. Look where it's from. I'll do the brakes while I'm in here. You have to tie your steering wheel in place so it doesn't move. And under the dash here, you can see you can see all four of the studs there. You have 4 nuts and then a retaining clip right there where the orange, white, and black, or red, white, and black wires are. Sorry, I heard something behind me and it kind of freaked me out. It's my kids and they're playing a weird song. But anyways, you take those out and have somebody on the outside to help you worm it out of there, because that shaft that's right there that connects to the pedal will sneak its way back on there if you don't have somebody in here holding it off of it. That was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get back together because I couldn't remember exactly how I took it off. I actually used a flathead to take it off of there and it just slid right off, but going back on it's a little bit different. When you put it back together, you want to make sure that your brake light switch is aiming down just like that. You'll see on the inside of the brake light switch, it has like a metal plate inside of there. That's where the end of the shaft touches it as you're pushing the brake. And then that's pretty much done there. We're also replacing all of the brake lines, which you could tell from the front side here. There is a diagram online to be able to follow. Get my big head under here to be able to reconnect these lines in their proper home. The bottom 2 go to the master cylinder itself. This one up here goes to the front left wheel, and that one over there goes to the right front wheel. And then the one that's still attached there that bends up above the top has been in here, and it goes to the back brakes. This thing is an absolute rust bucket. Then when you're done, you'll want to bleed the brakes really well. There's going to be so much air in there, you could fill a scuba tank with it. You'll want to start bleeding from here. Make sure you get air out of the master cylinder itself, and then start working your way to the ABS. So after this point, it goes to ABS, and then it goes out to the wheels. Don't try to shortcut yourself, because you're going to end up having a squishy pedal otherwise. Start here, get the air out. They do have fittings and stuff to be able to bleed these. Is probably what I'm going to do instead of trying to pump the brake pedal and then hopefully it bleed back in. Just take the cap off, run the hoses into here, put the fittings into the connectors down there, and then go inside and pump the brake pedal about 30 times. Then the ABS has to be done with a scanner, and I do have a scanner to be able to do the ABS. Then after ABS, you're going to be doing the wheels themselves. And that order of normal brake bleeding, it's furthest away from the master cylinder, here, right front, and then left front. So it's right rear, right front, left front. And that should get all of the air out of the brake system. Now, in this instance, I have to get air out of the master cylinder, or not the master cylinder, but the hydroboost, before I can even start getting any kind of a brake pedal, because I hate hydroboost. It uses the power steering pump to build pressure here. This pressure here comes from here, goes down to the steering box, goes from the steering box to a cooler, from the cooler back up to the reservoir of the power steering, and then you also have a return coming from here to the power steering. So there's 4 fittings on the back side of that power steering reservoir. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll try to help as much as I can. Thanks for watching.